Winterberg in Germany, the venue for the BMW FIBT Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Championships. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hochsauerland in Germany, to day one of the Men's Skeleton Worlds for 2015. The first of 4 runs down this historic track to set up the championship finale tomorrow. Hello, I'm Martin Haven, alongside me John Morgan at a busy Winterberg track, ready for the start of the action. And John, this is a track the athletes know well, but it still has plenty of challenges if they're to find the speed they need to win the medals.
Well, there's been discussions all week long that the track is cut so easy that makes it so fast and is not really as much a challenge as we've seen in past years. And you know, the track's got its own personality. Last year, very challenging. There was a lot more ice in the track. They've taken about 5-6 inches out at bottom some of these curves, and it's really made a difference. Built in 1977, altered in 2007. They put a new start building in, and this curve, zero curve, right here. This is a real challenge. This little thing used to be totally straight into the first curve. That little zero curve has caused a lot of problems for the bobsled sport. We'll see what it does to skeleton. Here in Omega, uphill section out of Omega Curve 3 here. This uphill section, you have to be so quiet and no steering. Exit of 4, real important because this 5, turn left, you accelerate down. 6, 7, now you come into Kreisel, the pivotal part of the track where you have to have a steady line. Don't steer, slingshot effect to the bottom, and boys, you start to come quick now. 8, 9 is the real problem area on the track. This is when everybody's been having some problems getting through that straightaway. 10, big pressure. Now the 3-corner combination, you just hold on and try and get to the end, and you get almost 80-mile-an-hour speeds. You go uphill here in the finish. The challenge never stops until you cross the finish line right there.
Well, it's a fast track, and as John says, this year has been particularly quick. The ice, the German athletes who've been sliding here all their lives have said they have never felt the ice as smooth and as fast as it is, and the track record has definitely been under threat during training. We should see on this clear morning the record tumble almost immediately. Well, we have a bumper field of 34 athletes. There's junior world champion Nikita Tregebov, Olympic bronze medalist Matt Antoine. He'll go off first. Temperature hovering just about 0 on the ice and in the air. No snow in the air, and that's always good news. And not too much sun either, because that tends to change the nature of the ice. So 34 sleds with a host of different nations here. Over 20 different nations represented in this Skeleton World Championships. And the expected front runners include both world champions in the field, 2-time world champ Martin Stukurs and reigning world and Olympic champion Alexander Tretyakov. So the Latvia-Russia battle will definitely be part of the medal process, but there's maybe 10 athletes, maybe more, who could definitely threaten for a medal if they get 4 solid, fast runs in. Well, Matt Antoine of the USA will head the field. Thomas and Martin Stukurs, the Latvian brothers, ahead of junior world champion Axel Jung, Alexander Tretyakov, and co-junior world champion Nikita Tregebov for Russia.
And they drew those numbers.
They drew the numbers.
They drew which numbers they wanted. So obviously Martin Stukurs, who won the World Cup title, drew 3.
Well, he chose where he would like to go, allow the first couple of sliders to go down. You can see a sled on the track at the moment. That's one of the 4 runners, making sure that the timing system is working and checking the grooves. And all the way down the order, Great Britain, Italy, Canada, Switzerland.
Big field. Huge
field. A couple of Koreans, couple of Swiss. You see Marion Thies, former German slider there with the rattle in the background of the crowd. Australia with 2 sliders, Spain, New Zealand, Bulgaria, and Brazil. First-time slider from Brazil. In fact, it's his first race in Europe. Now, good crowd on hand as well. It's Thursday morning, so it is a school day, but loads of school kids out and lots of fans coming out as well. And this track is only going to get busier and busier.
Matt Antoine took the first, you know, he was like 4th in World Cup points. He decided to, when the number 1 position was available to him, he took it. That didn't work out so well for the Canadian bobsled team. They took number 1, and it was disaster because of the conditions of the track. Our rabbit, first man down. Prairie du, Wisconsin's Matt Antoine, 5:09. The track record at the start, 4.75. And that's set by the Russian rocket Alexander Trechikov, who comes up 5.
No dramas through the really tricky corner 0. That can ruin your run. Uphill there through 4 and then dropping back down into 5. You drop about 3 stories through that corner, and that's where the speed really starts to pick up into this quasi turn.
Late there. Not a great transition. The feet, now watch the feet. Looking for the scratching. That's his chin on the ice, and here's some scratching.
Straight down the middle, 9, 10 and 11. The marks on the track left by a couple of bobsled crashes yesterday have been iced over, but it changes the nature of the ice a little underneath. 130 kilometers an hour at the bottom.
56
miles an hour. Yeah, that's a good
50
slide.
hundredths off the track record, so I don't know. I don't think that track record's going down. I know Matt's usually within a couple tenths, 25, 30 hundredths of the top leaders, and of course, bronze medalist at the last year's Winter Olympics, and he's been doing really good in training all week. Curve 9. You can see the shades are up in a lot of places. Look at his head. He's got his head down, looking for the aerodynamic profile on the fastest part of the track, the exit of curve 10. A little high there, Matt.
Thoughtful look from Matt Antoine, the first of 34 sliders in this first of 4 heats. Thomas Ducors of Latvia, 33-year-old from Sigulda. 4th in the Winter Games in 2010 and 2014. Matt Antoine started 5:09. Ducors could well be quicker. 5:01.
Yep, that's expected. Boy, he took a lot of curve, the hassle curve. The hassle, the pain in the butt curve. We keep throwing names out. If you got a name, send it to us on Facebook. We'll still figure out what to call it. But boy, that's 1700ths lead on Matt Antoine, and that is a lot off the top of the straight.
See lots of Latvian fans there, big banners for them.
Wow, this track record, if he's coming down, he's going to be 30, at this pace, 35 hundredths ahead of Matt.
He could be close to the record on this run unless he has a big mistake now.
He's 30. Probably should maybe keep around 30 now. Ooh, he was really on the right side of the straightaway there. Let's see if that costs him. 35, yeah, he's not going to pull away too much more, but that opens the door for his brother to break the track record.
We have a lot of speed over Matt Antoine on the top half of the track.
Track record's going down. Track record, I think, is going to go to the next sled.
Well, the next 2 or 3, we've got Martin Ducors coming off 3rd, Alexander Trechikov, the track record start holder, coming off 5th.
Matt Antoine might have been at a disadvantage going 1. He shouldn't have been that far away
Training
from
first 3 or 4 sleds have had a little bit more polish on the ice and been a little quicker.
Look at the grooves now. There are some problems up there with the grooves. We saw Martin's Ducars come out of the grooves in one of the training runs.
Well, they had to recut. The coaches were asking them to recut the grooves this morning because they were vanishing away to nothing in several points. There were some high spots in them and they just disappeared.
Look at the athleticism to get on a skeleton sled. You think it's easy? No one does it the same. Everybody's got their own personal touch, especially this dude.
2-time world champion, 2-time Olympic silver medalist. He's been the World Cup champion, the Crystal Globe winner the last 6 straight seasons, Martin Ducors.
And he's been sort of just, ooh, look at the steering he had to do there.
4:89.
Wow. So the start track record's intact. I don't see Trechikov getting below a 4:782 or something. But now, 21 hundredths ahead, this means track record. If he keeps up 35 hundredths at the next pace, it's going to be track record.
A little bit of snow and ice being nudged into the track by the kids.
Only 28 hundredths. That's a track record, though.
Fastest speed we've seen so far. Both clocks. That's 58.5 miles an hour he's doing. Accelerating hard now.
44. He should maintain this coming down. Watch this form. Look at the bullet form. 11, 12, 13. He makes it look so easy. Okay, track record. Martin Ducars sets the pace. There it is.
Training told us to expect that, and sure enough, 3 sleds into the World Championships. The ice has never been better here, never been faster or more smooth and forgiving. And Martin Ducors starts his campaign with a new track record. How long that'll last, Might be a couple of minutes, might be an hour.
We've had track record of women's bob, all 4 runs. We have track record in 2-man bob, not in the 4th run, but 2 of the 4 runs. And here in the first run of men's skeleton, track record. So the trend continues. Well, and the best guy in the world. Look at the feet. Look at the profile.
See how low the line was around that corner as well. He's choosing a different line to most other sliders. The next up is 23-year-old German rookie Axel Jung from the Oberhof Bob Club, 2012 junior world champion. And his first season at the senior level in World Cup this year. Standout season for this young man.
Yeah, he's just been Mr. Consistent, you know, for a rookie. And it represents this young German team.
And look at the speed. He's got 4.92, second quickest starter so far. He has a real medal shot. He could definitely be in the top half dozen. He has a really good weekend, could challenge for the medals, just 700s back.
No World Cup medals in the whole season, right? He's at 3 or 4 times he's been 4th or 5th. Just consistent. And this is pretty good speed.
It's already opening up, 1600s back, a little late there, bumped on the wall.
Still good enough for second at this pace. Oh, but he's late there, 9, that's going to cost him.
That's the lowest speed into 9 we've seen.
Yeah, so he's going to fall back here a lot on the bottom. 46, yeah, he lost it all. Curve 8-9, lost all his speed. Ends up 3rd.
We will see much lower speeds, but
coaches will take that. I mean, against the 2 Ducars brothers. I mean, the 2 Ducars brothers got between them 20 years of sliding. He's got 3.
The problem is, we're 1 run into the 4, and he's already 6/10 of a second back. So
on a short track, on a short 1,300-meter track. Good form here in Kreisel. Look at the marks. He straddles him, so that's a reference that we can use. His feet, very relaxed. I mean, you know, there's toe comes out of him. He's getting a little high there. And this is it. Watch him come up a little high there, and he has to put the toe out, acts like a rudder.
He steers down too early, and centrifugal force hasn't finished, pushes him back up the corner. Well, this is a Willi Schneider sled, and it's for our Olympic champion, our world champion, our start record holder, Alexander Tretyakov of Russia, now 29. He made his debut here a decade ago in Winterberg 2004. He was 34th. Now he could win the gold medal.
47. I thought he'd be 5/600ths better than Tretyakov, or than Ducars. Speed 62.9. Now that speed is not that good for that start time. So I got to believe, yeah, red numbers already. You know, he did not have a good load onto the sled or something, because his fastest start of the day should have produced the fastest speed out of curve 1, and it did not.
900s back. This is where he needs to be. You've got to be right in contention to the 100ths of a second. Otherwise, over 4 runs, the gap just opens and opens and opens. You can't rely on your rivals making an error at this level.
98.6 isn't the best.
1700s back. He could be 4/10 behind at the line, and that gives Martin Stucars a great first-round advantage.
30/100ths back. Well, 30/100ths back on this track. Well, look, everybody else is separated 30, 51, 60, 91. I mean, there's quite a separation for the first 5 sleds. Yeah. In bobsledding, we saw in the 4th run, 5th, 6th, and 7th separated by 200ths of a second. I mean, in ties. Skeleton, we're seeing the field here in the top 5 sleds. It's all spread out. Well, here's the best starter in the world, the guy we call the Russian Rocket. But let's watch his load onto the sled, because he did not have good velocity speed after curve 1. So maybe something happened here. Every picture tells a story. Well, how are these? I mean, wow. Couldn't tell there.
Load looked good, but he just didn't carry the speed through turn 0. Martin Stucars leads, top 5 covered by nearly a full second. We have 31 sleds to go. Nikita Tregibov, 19-year-old Russian rookie from Krasnoyarsk in southern Siberia. Youngest man in the field, 6th at the Olympic Games in Sochi. We've never even seen him race at the senior level up until that stage.
disastrous team race, he came out of the grooves.
That was Sergei Tudinov who popped the groove.
Take that back.
5:05, good start. He's the joint junior world champion. I think that's the first time that's ever happened where they couldn't separate the top two in the world championships, the junior worlds.
The sun has just kind of broke through.
And look, already 3/10 back.
That's nothing to do with the track.
No.
That's got to do with his.
That's got to do with
start time. The start time was, he's 16 cars at the start. So he'll get 30 or 40, 5,400s. Boy, the disparity in times here between the top 6 sleds is very, very perplexing here.
It's definitely greater than we saw in training, but habitually Martins and Thomas Ducours don't put big, fast runs together in training. They look at various elements on the track.
And they do a lot of testing.
Yeah.
I think their middle name is testing for both of those guys. Look at the feet. Look at that feet chatter there. I don't like the way they stop those sleds sometimes.
Well, usually they have a big pile of foam at the bottom, big foam mats to crash
They don't need
into.
it here because the straightaway is so long to finish. But Tretiakov, well, he's done much better in the season than this run here. Feet.
Ooh, dives down in the Kreisel, and then he's going to have to steer
both feet are pointed
again.
down, so this wasn't perfect, that's for sure. And then he's late here. This is where you're supposed to slingshot yourself to the bottom. He did not do that.
Very wavy Davy, I'm afraid, from Nikita Chegibov. So Martins Ducours the leader. Next up from Great Britain, 27-year-old Dom Parsons, 400-meter runner. He's a Bromley Tech slider and a PhD student.
Should get a good start.
Yeah,
90s, 496. 5'10". That's strange. Strange.
He should be a little closer at the start.
The worst start of the 7. He's one of the better starters in the field. Well, we were perplexed last week in the first heat of the two-man bobsled race. I'm getting a little confused here. Again, the times are just so spread out. I mean, Don Parsons is going to be over a second down in the first run. And he was in the top 5 in training.
I wonder if we've seen the sweet spot go out of the track. The top 4 guys came out 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
But you don't see that at Skelton, and the Skelton guys don't dig up the track.
No, but the polish from the overnight spritz can go very quickly. 56.79.
He's better than Matt Antoine by 600. Antoine and him both had similar start times.
Still again, 8/10 out of the lead in the first heat of 4.
Yeah, this is a sport measured to hundreds of seconds. Bobsledding, the top 10 leaderboard last week, other than first place. 3rd to 5th was separated by about 20 hundredths after 4 runs. Look at the hands, like a sprinter. I mean, he's track and field background. Pull with the hands. Now watch him cross over and launch his very tall 6'3" frame onto a sled. Everybody's got a different technique and how much pressure goes on the sled when he hops down.
Very pensive looking Dom Parsons for Great Britain, lying in 6th place at the moment. Sunbin Young of Korea next up, 20-year-old, first world champs for him. He is an electrifying starter, but he has never raced on this track before today.
What a powerful man. Look at this, 486. Fastest start of the competition.
Yep.
The guy, Iron Man, dressed like him. His sled's going to be painted like him. His favorite movie, This kid has exploded onto the scene. Now, he's already down 4. That's his inexperience with his track. But I got to believe he's going to be in a top 3 position.
He's had 4 training days, but he's so inexperienced compared to anybody else in the field.
Head is up. His head, I've noticed right here, has been up a couple times. And again, that's been not familiar with the track. But still, Koreans have never won a world championship medal in any of the sliding sports. If there's anyone who's going to be the first one to do it, it's him right here.
And he will get quicker with each heat. He's just adding to his knowledge now.
3 times the
Speed
medal.
not great at the bottom, really slow, 128.8.
Look at that. They're not happy with that. None of those coaches are happy with that, including Richard Bromley, the sled builder on the left. They're not happy. Again, I'm confused with the best start of the competition. He comes down 8,300s back.
Knowledge of the track, pure and simple. He still doesn't know it, Ginger, because he's spent 4 days here, so he'll have had 8 trips. He's had 6 in testing.
Fastest starter in the field. Look at the size of him. Look at the thighs. Look at this guy. This 19-year-old kid, too. This is going to be a legend in the making here. By the time this kid gets to look at the speed. Look who has the best speed, though. Even though Dukars had the third fastest start, the third fastest start, Dukars had the fastest speed after curve 1. That's technique, getting on the sled.
22-year-old German junior world champion, a double junior world champion, Christopher Grodehair in 2013 and tied for 2015. He was in the World Championships in 2013 as the wild card in St. Moritz, finished 16th. Let's see what 2 years have done to improve him.
Great start, 6th best start. Now he knows the track. Had extra sliding here. Feet perfect around. I mean, you're going to see perfect form. If you see feet out up here at the top of the track, they're really making a mistake. Because it's cut so easy. If you watch Facebook at all this week, the FIBT page, number of athletes, Martins, Dukars, Laura Dees, everybody saying, I have never seen ice like this in my life in Winterberg. So congratulations to the organizing committee, but maybe you made it too easy.
Well, if it's easy to get down, it means only the really great sliders will find that extra advantage they need.
I mean, he's got perfect form.
He's half a second back, but he's closing up into 5th place.
Good speed.
Closing on teammate Axel Jung, who's the top German at the moment in 4th. Grodehair 6th at the line.
Now we're seeing some close numbers. We're seeing 60, 69, 72, 83, 87. You know, 30-hundreds, we're seeing 5 sleds. The top of the field, though, the first 4 sleds, I mean, Dukars has got a 60-hundredths lead over the 4th place athlete. 30-hundredths on the 2nd place guy. And this is a sport timed to hundredths of seconds. Look at the head down, then it comes up a little bit. This is down 11, 12, 13. See, the bobsledders had problems coming over, hitting that right-hand wall. The skeleton guys are getting on the take out of the curve and launching uphill perfectly because the track's so easy. 4-man bobsleds won't have that same issue. They're going to be a little bit more out of control.
Sergei Chudanov in the team race for Russia. Popped out of the groove. The sled burst out of the groove at the start. And it was an utter catastrophe. Let's see what Chudy can produce here. 31 years old, very experienced. Bronze in the World Championships in St. Moritz last time out 2 years ago.
Doesn't get the starts his Russian rocket teammate gets, but 504, 7th best, speed 62.3. Now that is way off the pace.
It's a kilometre an hour slower than Martins Dukars, who had the best velocity out of the first corner.
Look at it, he's 3,400s down already. Yeah. What did Dukars do up there? I mean, did he miss some part of the track?
Yeah, sure he can.
Come on.
Well, our top 3 that we expected to be the medal contenders, both Dukars brothers and Tretyakov, are a couple of steps ahead of anyone else in the field. Chudy, 10th starter in 10th place at the moment on split times. He's going to be over a second behind at the line.
Surprised. I mean, this, again, medalist at the last World Championships in St. Moritz in 2013. 2 kilometers down at the bottom.
Wow, that's really low speed. He's still doing 80 miles an hour, but compared to his rivals...
Look at Willie Snyder, the coach. Just says, what happened to my athlete who I would have picked him top 7.
1.2 behind in the first run.
In the first second, yeah. That's a lot of time in 2 runs.
That's a lot of time in 4 runs. Again, comes low at the end.
Boy, he's
sent back
way up high. Now watch this little skid in this little ice channel between 9 and 10. You want to come over the right side of your screen, and his foot is trying to steer him away. So you could see those grooves there. That's again where bobsledders crashed.
Martins Dukars leads by 3/10 from Alex Tretyakov. Half a second, first to third.
Go, 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 go!
Jake Krzyzewski of Canada, World Cup rookie this season, the 30-year-old from Brampton, Ontario, tallest man in the field, toe steering all the way down into corner 0, and that takes some of the speed of his start away.
No speed. Wow. The Grizz, he's going to be
Well, he's 9th place, so ahead of Sergei Chudanov and Matt Antoine at the moment.
Matt Antoine, I think, had a serious disadvantage drawing #1, like we saw Justin Cripps of Canada doing men's bobsled. You know, you're back in the 4th or 5th, and the top guys don't grab #1. You took a chance on it, but boy, with the history this track has had.
Good speed from Krzyzewski. This is up to 6th position for the Canadian, using all that rugby players' mass and really controlling the speed nicely. This is a really good run. 5th place for Dave Krzyzewski of Canada. First ever World Championships. Drops a couple of spots at the line.
He's right in the mix there.
Coach Ivo Parklands is very happy with that.
He's only 1700ths out of 5th, out of 4th.
And this is what we've seen all the way through the World Championship so far. There is speed in the track all day if you can find it.
Good result in Sochi a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Crossover. This is a big man. Look at both hands off. Look at that, running full speed. Taking both hands off the sled. Jump on. You think that's easy? Come on out and try it.
There's the Grizz. Sonny Winterberg, exactly right. Next up, 30-year-old Austrian Matthias Guggenberger, 8th in the Winter Games in Sochi. Man from Innsbruck coming into this season not carrying an injury for the first time since 2012. But now he had some really good runs in training. Top 5, top 6. Let's see if he can parlay that into a race. 5:04, good solid getaway. A little lower speed than Krzyzewski of Canada, but 7th fastest start.
The Austrians used to be the dominant country in the sport. The first 2 years of the World Championships in 1982, 1987, the sport was a little unorganized, but it was Austrians who won the championship. And then in the 90s, 3 times out of 10 years, the Austrians won the World Championships, and a lot of those guys are coaching now.
Christian Auer, the 2nd most successful skeleton World Championship winner. His son is sliding as well now.
But the Austrians all have their target on next year's World Championships in Eagles, Austria. A year from now, being the Olympic city of Innsbruck. And 12th time, he is the 7th best start. Look at Martin Rettel, the world champion in 2001 for Austria. Another one of them. That's the last time the Austrians won the World Championship.
Yep.
Martin Rettel, he was also a silver medalist at the 2002 games in Salt Lake City. But the Austrians, since then, the men have, since Rettel's retired, have not had a consistent medal winner. And this is the top of the track where, no, you cannot do that. 7th best start, he should have produced a better finish time than that.
From Bavaria, 20-year-old rookie Kilian von Schleinitz, born in Berchtesgaden. Older brother Julian is a luge slider in the German team, and his sister also slides skeleton. So they really are a sliding family. I asked him yesterday, how come you all ended up in ice sliding? Did your dad do it? Anybody else? No, they're the first generation of the family to take to the ice in Koenigsegg.
Well, he certainly looks young enough.
Yes, he does. Claims to be 20, looks 12.
Good season. I mean, the Germans have just thrown the young kids out into the mix. They did not medal at last year's Olympic Games, not only in skeleton, they didn't do it in bobsled either. But their idea now is to bring the young kids up quickly. And there's only one veteran of the team, men or women, left. And she's retiring.
Yes, exactly. Anja Huber, she'll retire on Saturday after the Women's World Championship concludes. And everybody else is under the age of 25.
Germans have gone young.
Well, they had that big drop-off, didn't they? And that's the 12-year cycle after the 2002 games. And a lot of nations have found that is that the veterans have all got to the end of the line sporting-wise and retired.
8th, not bad.
Really good run off the 13th best start.
Jens Müller on the right. He's the former East German gold medalist in luge at the 1988 Calgary Olympics. He's been ahead of the German skeleton program since 2006.
Dirk Matchens with him from Ilmenau near the Oberhof track. The village that has produced more ice sliding champions than any other in Germany, apparently.
Including luge.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get his hands off the sled like we saw Dave Krzyzewski from Canada do. He keeps his hands on the sled. Again, different techniques. The Look at him. Boy, that was a great extension. Anytime you see your flex and your back like that, boy, his chest right onto the sled. Good technique. It's good. Ooh, but boy,
overshot just
overshot a little bit.
Well, next up is another young rookie. This is 22-year-old Pavel Kulikov from St. Petersburg in Russia. Former decathlete, did karate, cross-country skiing. 5:12 start for him. That's the same as von Schleinitz we've just seen, and von Schleinitz raced into 8th spot.
Might be the best English-speaking Russian in any of the sliding sports we've met so far.
His English is absolutely outstanding. Saying he did a little bit of national service last year, and they have a multi-event discipline there. Running, shooting, swimming, grenade throwing. Not quite sure how that translates into skeleton, but he's clearly a guy who likes his sport. And he is right in there in the mix. Up to 12th place already, picking up spots.
The reason he's in the field, because his younger teammate won the Junior World Championship, opened up a slot for him, because the Junior World Champion automatically gets a spot in the field.
So there's 4 Russians, 4 Germans. And Kulikov started the season in North America at the beginning of the year.
13th best start, 12th best finish, 1 second off the pace. Now we're seeing times that are close to each other in the mix. Those first 5-6 sleds, it was perplexing.
Big smile from Pavel Kulikov.
Feet aren't together.
Little high
on
first
the mark, yeah.
Pressure.
Now he just comes back down and back up. Smiling. Look at him. Piece of work.
Hiro Takahashi of Japan, the 30-year-old from Miyagi in Japan's North Island. Now lives in Nagano, where the Olympic track is from the '98 Games. And a former baseball player with coach Katsuhiro Koshi behind him, the Japanese veteran.
Legend in the sport. Very meticulous in his start. Boy, he's on the sled real quick. 15th best start. Now he's sentenced to at least a second down at the bottom unless he finds some magic along it. Was it him or his teammate doing pretty good in practice?
Well, both of them had a reasonable run.
4,800 down now. The next clock, he hopes it's only 60, and he might keep it below a second. 62. He's right around the second.
Picked up a spot ahead of Matthias Guggenberger of Austria. 92.4's not great speed on the M Project sled.
97.6. Good form though. The exit of 9. This is very confident slide.
Only 2 sleds have been slower, and perplexingly, Sunbin Jung of Korea, the fastest starter, is one of those 2. 129 at the bottom. You really need 130s to be able to move up much.
Yeah, no speed. He had a chance to keep it below a second when we saw him out of the exit of Chrysley. Good form all the way down the track, just it was not fast.
Depending on your line, you steer more or less, and the more you have to steer through the corner and to get the exit right, the more speed you take out of the sled.
Top 7 or top 10 a couple times this year.
Next up, 22-year-old Austrian Rafael Meyer. Martins Dukos of Latvia still our leader, the first of 4 heats. Rafael Meyer of Austria started his sporting career at the age of 6 as a ski jumper, went to sports high school in Innsbruck. I'm sure his mum was very grateful when he took to the slightly less daunting task of going headfirst downhill at 80 miles an hour. Sliding family, the Meyers. His father is the Austrian bobsled coach. His brother drives bobsled for Austria. His sister, she doesn't like sliding.
His brother had some really decent speed yesterday in 4-man training. Not very good start time, so he didn't have a great result, but the speed in the bottom part of the track, I'm sure the Austrians are encouraged by that. His brother's also had 3 top 10 finishes in 4-man bobsledding as a 20-year-old.
Well, Rafael, one of the youngest and about the slightest athlete in the skeleton field, and that really counts against him because you need all-up weight to go fast downhill, so if you're light, your sled tends to be heavier.
He's not slight in his ability to deliver practical tricks, I'll tell you that.
He really is a joker in the pack, definitely.
He is a character, well-liked.
1:29.8. That's good speed at the bottom as well.
For the worst start so far in the field. And he ties his teammate.
Yeah.
Boy, the Austrians used to be the dominant power. Again, how many times the Austrians have won over the years.
5 World Championships for Alexander Auer, 1 for Martin Rettel. And they're tied off a Matthias Guggenberger 5:04 start and Raphael Meyer with a 5:22 start. They end up with exactly the same time at the bottom. They're going to explode off the blocks. That's definitely something that he's going to have to work on for next year.
Start.
More power, because Eagles is even more of a glider's track here, where the start determines so much.
Well, they might not cut the Eagles track so easy as they did this one.
Kyle Tress of the USA, the 33-year-old from Lambertville, New Jersey originally, now lives Lake Placid. Won a 3-way race-off for the second US spot. Matt Antoine was guaranteed the first of their 2 positions.
62.2 again, that's a full kilometer down. Besides being almost 2/10 down at the start, full kilometer down. And now he's plus 40 next clock. Again, he hopes to keep it within 60 hundredths. If he keeps it within 60 hundredths, he has a chance to be less than a second at the bottom.
Teammate Matt Antoine 9/10 behind at the bottom. But Matt had better speed.
And that went earlier. That's late there.
Not much better speed. 92.5 to 92.3. Matt was 98.2, 97.6 and half a kilometer an hour.
Real late in 9. That's going to really cost him down here in the speed. Boy, he's got his head down in 10. 97, he's going to be a second 10 down.
It's getting really loose under him at the bottom. 14th place, well, he started off 11th and nearly recovered below the Chrysler, but then he got a bit wild from 9 on down.
Curve 9 was his nemesis. It's not the only person that has some problems there.
0 and 9 are 2 of the most time-determining track corners.
Start. Look at that foot sideways. You want to keep everything, you know, all your energy going forward. Look at that right foot. Boy, they should take a look at that. And curve 9, he gets up here near the roof, and then he has a rough exit.
Yeah, we see
on
so
the
many
outlet of the curve. Look at his foot come up. And what's they call that? The scorpion?
Yeah, the scorpion.
Scorpion
See so
move?
many athletes trying to come down a little early today. Next up, Mattia Gaspari, 21-year-old, second season at the senior level. He's from Pieve de Cadore, near Cortina in the Dolomites.
19th on the World Cup Tour, but of course he missed a couple events in Lake Placid and Calgary. 16th best at 62.2 speed, 62.1. See, that speed, now he's going to be 40 hundredths now. It's starting to get easy to predict.
Talking to him during the week, and he was saying he's looking at joining the Carabinieri, the Italian police force. Look at one of the services, and he's particularly drawn to the Carabinieri. The boss of their sporting division is multiple Olympic luge champion Armin Zergler.
That's not a bad boss.
Exactly right. There's a man who understands.
Olympic medals under his
Yeah.
chin. A little late there, tapped before he got 8 to 9, but didn't affect him too much on the exit of 9. Feet are apart in 10. Speed, if he gets 129 speed, he'll be doing well. He's close to that mark.
Yes, he is. 128.9 is good speed. Down at the bottom, 18th place, tail of the field, behind the 2 Austrians. But he's in that position where you're going to win or lose lots of spots. He is 100th behind 2 Austrians. He's a 10th behind Sergei Chudanov, and Kyle Tress is 2/10 in front.
Look at this up top with the speeds of slow curve 3. Sled's coming across the ice. He's drifting to the right. Look at his eyes.
Yeah. There's a big smile from Mattia Gaspari. Now, Dave Swift of Great Britain, 30-year-old from Eastbourne originally, now lives in Newton Abbot in Devon. So
This could be interesting.
Well, he is a huge starter. He won the Intercontinental Cup this year, which is the 2nd tier. It's the nationwide series, if you like, of ice sliding.
He wants to get below. He says, I should be doing 497s or better. So he told us.
Nice motto on the shoes there. Dream it, live it.
I say 498. 5
flat.
He didn't get to his marker, but not a bad start.
His dad trains the Great Britain Olympic sprint team, so he's got all the knowledge. He's clearly got the genetics that his dad had as well.
One of the products of one of those tryouts that they had, the British Skeleton did, went out and got hundreds of people involved and cut it down. Sprinter, well, it's not a bad athlete to choose, a sprinter, especially with his build.
Yeah. Big, powerful, carries the weight, and has got great speed. So, 5th at the start. Whoa, and drifting out to 15th place now.
Track, is it the track?
Well, his only World Cup appearance this year was a one-off in Eagles in Austria when Ed Smith was recovering from
pretty good though, didn't he?
Yeah, really good. So he knows how to slide.
I think the track's gone. Whoa, he's on the side there in the finish. Shades are up down there, creates a tunnel effect, but he came out on one runner.
Well, he was letting it fly for the speed. 300s quicker than Mattia Gaspari. He's in 16th place ahead of the two Austrians.
Chance to move up. With that type of start, I don't think that was a good run for him.
No. He'll be disappointed with that. Jem Bryant
But
down there, the team
finish.
manager. Look, he's turning his head sideways to avoid the helmet being bashed into the ice there. That shows the pressure in 10, yeah.
Oh boy, out of the finish curve, he's on one runner.
Hanging up there.
Right here. There
Yeah.
it is. Hello.
Don't,
hello. It's
don't
not
steer.
how to do it.
Don't steer, you get the speed. Well, next up is our second Italian rookie, Joe Cecchini, Calgary cop. So I want to say hello to Fruitvale, British Columbia. His mum and dad are here. Some friends are there from the Netherlands with nice T-shirts they've got on. Keep calm and slide ice. 5:04, good start from Joe Cecchini.
Yeah, he's got this ability to, like a military release, so he's done pretty good this year.
He was
on the circuit for the whole time.
Yeah, he was telling us when he was in Sochi that his house had been broken into back home. And so hopefully his buddies back at work have managed to recover all the stolen property. Meanwhile, nice looking run from Joe. 8th at the start, but it's drifting away a little. And you can understand, Joe, a lot of these athletes are going to be really tight at the start of the World Championships, trying to pretend it's just another training run, but actually the tension in them is going to be very evident.
Yeah, it's a different world. World Championships, everybody else is just to warm up the World Cups. This is the big deal. This is where you get your name in the record books.
Let's hope that he can relax into it for the remaining 3 runs. Because the speed at the start was really good, just kind of drifted away from him all the way down the track.
This is Kreisel, curve 9. Not bad there, transition. But start time didn't help. Not bad, start time
is our race leader from Alexander Tretyakov. Thomas Ducours lies 3rd. Another of our multitude of rookies this season, Canada's Evan Neufeld, 27-year-old from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Tried 2 different runners on the last day of training. He told me this morning, I'm going for the wild, dangerous ones that scared me. Let's hope it works.
Good start. You got to start, you got a chance. Speed, 62.6, one of the better speeds we've seen in the last 15 sleds.
Well, he's gambling this morning on these runners. He's going to have to use them in the second heat as well. If they're too skiddy, then he's in a world of hurt. 8th place. Looks like the gamble may be paying off.
Well, he had a 6th best start. Now he's down to 8th. 91.5 is not optimum speed. That's late.
Drifting out to 13th spot.
If he stays in the top 15, it's decent.
60 miles an hour as he comes into turn 10. Still accelerating hard down here.
Boy, he's a second 25 down already. No speed in the bottom part of the track. Now you start to think of it's warm, and boy, they're starting to do the scorpions out of the finish curve there.
Yep.
Not good. 20th place with that start time. You know, and Joe Cecchini, who just came down at the 9th best start, he's in 21st.
Yep.
So I'm getting a little nervous about the track.
Matty Charney down there, one of the sliders in the Canadian team earlier in the season. There's Evan. Big smile on his face. Again, They may be losing their bearings a little in the final corner. But
well, it's a tunnel in there. It's dark. There's no lights. It's
very skiddy.
That's
there.
called a scorpion. When your leg comes over like that.
Hits you in the back of the head.
Yeah, that's not cool.
EB Eric Benotis, the coach for Great Britain, holds the sled for 29-year-old Bristolian Ed Smith. Commercial electrician by day and Cadbury's Dairy Milk smuggler by night.
What?
He has an international trade in nice English chocolate. 5:26 getaway. He has struggled all year long with a really bad leg injury.
60.9 speed. Yeah. That is, he's been sentenced to a second behind at least. And with the two previous guys that came down who had good starts, 6th and 9th, he's got the 22nd best start, the worst start in the field.
Yeah, well, Ed would normally be in the top 10 starters.
He's an athlete.
But he's had to sit out a race already once this year because essentially he could barely stand, never mind run. 97 kilometers an hour, good speed from the Blackrock sled. He knows what he's doing on the ice, but that lack of speed at the top is going to be very hard to overcome. His target will be to make the top 20 in the final heat. 1:28.2, good speed at the bottom. Nice form at the bottom as well, but still
1.87 behind. 22nd best start, 22nd best finish from an athlete that we used to see to be always in the top 10. Yeah. So wounded.
Yeah,
is the only way to describe that run. He's a wounded athlete.
Definitely.
The feet, I don't like the toes pointing to the side. Look at the...
Well, most feet do. Very unusual you find a foot that runs absolutely straight.
Good load onto the sled. Just look at the right, left, more pressure into the groove. I don't know if there's ever a perfect launch onto the sled.
20-year-old Martin Rosenberger from Bischofswiesen. I would say he's a rookie, except we've never even seen him race before. He was a karate player for 7 years and only turned to skeleton 4 years ago at the age of 16. He gets the entry because Germany have 3 guaranteed spots, plus one of their sliders is the wild card as the junior world champion.
Pretty good start. Not great, but not bad, 62.5.
Well, just turned 20 years old. He's only going to get faster and stronger.
Big smile on his face when we saw him yesterday. Doing a headshot with him, first time we've ever seen him.
Yeah, he's living the dream, isn't he? World Championships, he's not even raced in the World Cup yet. He's done a couple of seasons of Europa Cup and Intercontinental Cup.
Speed's not bad. We asked him, what's your sporting background? Karate, 7 years. Do you want to know anything else about karate? No, it's enough. Not many karate players that we have out here.
A couple of judokas in the bobsled, but he's the first karate player we've had. 9600's behind.
Keeps it within a second.
Could be in the top 12. 14 spots.
Not bad. Don't take that.
And no expectations. Look, he's in a really tight group. 1.17 Hiro Takahashi, 1.18 is Rosenberger, 1.19 behind Karl Chess, 1.20 behind Sergei Chudinov. 4 sleds in 300s. Big smile on his face. No expectation. Go out and enjoy it.
Look at his head down. Look at his head down here. That's the G-force thrusting it down. He's trying to come around. Good form. Oh, left, right toe. Dragging a little bit. Look at his smile.
Martin Rosenberger. Big grin for him. Ivar Parkans with the sled for our second bare-helmeted Canadian. This is Barrett Martineau, 23-year-old from Calgary.
Ski jumper.
Yeah, ski jump coach now. There's the Canadian women. They'll be sliding tomorrow, banging on the hoardings at the top.
Beautiful helmet.
5:09 again. That's a very respectable start.
62 flat though. That's a kilometer and a half down on Martin's Ducos.
Well, having Ducos go first always makes everybody else look like they're struggling a little. They should make it go last in the field.
What they do in the next run.
Well, exactly. Top 20 will go in reverse order.
7,200's down. He's going to have all he can do to be 1.3 seconds behind.
Losing a little bit of speed here about Martineau. No relation to the Martineau after whom the corner is named in Samoritz. At least he doesn't believe there's any relation.
As the Martineau founded the St. Moritz Bobsleigh Club in 1925. And he was an English guy.
Well, the bobsleigh club here, founded in 1910 when they first started racing on this artificial track. 57.58, 17th place, 200s in front of Dave Smith, 400s in front of Matthias Guggenberger and Raphael Meyer, 500s in front of Mattia Gaspari. I think we've got a tight race in the 10 to 30 patch. It's going to be devil take the hindmost.
Yeah, right now, Gaspari from Italy's the guy in the bubble in the 4th run. Or right now for the 20-1 in the 2nd run. Yeah, a little late out of the finish, a little airborne, not as much. I think it was Ed Smith got the best ride through the finish.
John Farrow of Australia, now 32 years old, the Sydney sider, was a former mountain bike racer. Sled been held by Dean Timmings, whose twin brother we will see sliding for Australia as well in a few minutes.
John's another one who's wounded. Not the same athlete in the first 50 meters as he could be. He's got facing some ankle surgery, I think, when the season ends here.
He had a horrific training injury, smashed his leg and ankle very badly, 2011, and his last year was sliding with a plastic cast on all year long. So he was less sprinting away from the start and more shuffling.
Still hasn't recovered.
Picking up a spot already from his start. Speed is decent. 24th ahead of Ed Smith.
9. Comes the Big 10 curve. And the 3 Labrets, number 11, number 12, number 13, and number 14. And then the last part of the finish curve, 15, and they're through and down.
24th place, just in front of Ed Smith.
Good.
Well, the Aussies all self-funded. There is no government or lottery funding whatsoever for the programme. So John is paying for his Bromley sled. He's also paying for Brian Voigt there, the coach, to come on tour through Europe.
Feet together. Straddles the line pretty good. Now it comes down a little bit. Let's see if his toes touch. Here, you'll see it here, coming around the exit of Kreisel. Head's way up.
Yeah, but he got the line he wanted on the exit. That carries the speed down to 8, 9, 10. Now then, Ronald Alderset, 25-year-old student of mechanical engineering and reckless gambler. There is a 5-waffle bet that in the World Championships he will get fast in his personal best start at 495. 5:14, that's where he's been in training.
495.
Yeah, well, his PB is 498. John Farrow's bet him 5 waffle stack at the waffle stand at turn 5 if he gets a 495.
He's 2/10 off that projection, so there must be something wrong with the start track. Now, and it's supposed to get warm the next couple days, so I can't see it improve.
That might help slick up the track a little. 91.3, losing a bit of speed. You saw the legs fishtailing away.
Maybe we can get part of those waffles.
Right.
If John Farrell can eat them all.
If he eats 5, I think he's deserved it.
Oh, that's late out of 9. Might be the latest line we've seen so far. The exit of curve 9, a pivotal part of the track. Speed not that good and a lot of scratching going on.
Yeah, helmet on the ice.
23rd, 1.65. Shakes his head with frustration.
100th in front of Joe Cicchini of Italy.
And, you know, the top 20 go 20th place to 1, and then they go 21 to 34. So top 20 is important here. Here's curve 9. He comes down, goes back up near the wood. How close does he get to the wood?
Ooh, yeah.
I think he's right there.
Way
he's
up
off
high.
the sled, yeah. And then watch this abrupt change of direction. And when that happens, although he didn't do bad, of course, in bobsled, he would have hit the take on and been thrown in the middle there, but he snuck over there.
Shakes his head a little bit. Another World Cup rookie, as is Han-Sin Lee, the 26-year-old from Korea. Started back in 2010, but has never raced in Europe before this season. He's got a tiger on the front of his helmet. You see the blue eyes there just on the top.
He's got that strap dangling. It's not good. You see the strap? They should learn how to tie that up. That's an aerodynamic drag. You're dealing with hundreds of seconds. Not as much in this race, but in the bobsled race, like 100 and 200s would give you 2 or 3 places. after 4 runs on this track.
It might do in certain parts of this race as well. We got half a dozen athletes covered by less than a tenth in quite a lot of groups.
Speed, not bad. Feet separate. A little late out of Kreisel.
21st at the start. He's in 19th place now, ahead of Matthias Guggenberger and Raphael Meyer of Austria.
Scorpion there. He was late on the exit of 9, but he's not the only person in that club. 121. It's not bad. It's going to get him in the top 16.
22. Oh, drifted out of the top 20 in the final corner.
He was 16th place, 18th place in going to that last curve.
Yeah.
Decent speed. Something happened there.
Richard Bromley blowing the air out from his cheeks. He knows that Hansen lost some speed there somewhere in the bottom corner.
His teammate is in 9th with the best start in the competition, which is shocking. Look at the feet apart.
Yeah, steering with both toes.
So we got Martins Ducars we call Superman. We got Trechikov we call the Russian Rocket. And now we got Young from Korea, who's the Iron Man. So we're developing some Marvel Comics personalities into the sport.
Another of our World Cup rookies is Marcel Röhrer. Has never started a World Cup race.
Sprinter.
Yeah, from Sachsen, and now he's a PhD student in the University of Bern.
He wants to be sub 5 seconds also. Nah. He's sprinter, very confident when we spoke to him yesterday.
Yeah. Well, this is a whole new world for him. Normally when you're on the junior divisions, total silence greets you at the start of the race. No TV cameras, no huge crowds.
And the Swiss director of skeleton racing, Christian Simkowiak.
Simkowiak, yeah, former slider for Russia.
Germany.
Germany, rather, yes. Olympic medalist.
Yeah. Silver medal in Vancouver. And that's late there for... But the Swiss, you know, they were strong too. The Swiss got 4 or 5 world championships in this sport in the last 25 years, and they've fallen off. Since Gregor Stahler's retired and Maya Pedersen, the Swiss have been also Rans.
17th off a 13th fastest start. That's not a bad first appearance from Marco Röhrer. He's in the top 20 and might have done enough to stay in there. Coach Mickey Grunberger, you saw there incidentally, also a world champion for Austria back in his day in men's skeleton. Grunberger won in Koenigsegg, Bavaria in 1990.
The Austrians have got 6 world championships. The Swiss have got 5 world championships. As we look at that list in the last 25 years, here's how to not look at the exit of Kreisel right there. That little late crossover. That's worth some time.
There's Marco Röhrer, 17th spot for him. Next up is Australia's Nick Timmins.
Dean standing right there behind him. Fraternal twin brother.
24-year-old, half Japanese, I discovered yesterday. They're both fluent in Japanese. They're heading to see their other half of the family on the way home to Oz. 5:06, that's not a bad getaway either.
62.4 is not bad considering this time in the field.
Well, we just saw Marco Röhrer come off a similar start and speed into 17th place.
3,600's bad. At that point's not bad. Now, if he keeps it within 60 at the next clock, he could get to the top 20.
Well, there's speed still in the track to be found. 16th place at the moment. 92 kilometers an hour is good speed.
He's got to be perfect down here.
Only been sliding for a couple of years. I mean, very inexperienced.
6.6. Better than that. That's good exit out of 9. Perfect lines here.
Fringes of the top 20. This could be his best result in a slide so far. Still in 19th place.
Still has a chance. Speed's not good, though. It's going to be real close to being 21st. 23rd. He lost a lot of time on the bottom.
Maria Montellano of Spain. She'll be sliding in the women's race tomorrow. And Dean there with the sticks all week. He had an infection in his knee a few weeks ago. And I think Nick really likes that slide.
Yeah, he had a chance, though, with the 15th best start. So
went to school with Formula One Red Bull driver Daniel Ricciardo, the Honey Badger. That's it.
Now look at his feet coming straight ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the technique I'm talking about. And then now the hop. Let's see if he gets his hands off the sled. If he leaves his leaves his hands totally out. Yep, he does that crossover, and look at the eyes.
Yeah, the focus.
Oh, this is such an easy thing to do. Go out and try it.
Good stuff. Nick Timmings. Next up from Romania, 28-year-old Dorian Velicu made his World Cup debut in Koenigsegg, Bavaria back in 2013. So really only a couple of seasons at the top flight.
Big negative start time and a big take of the zero curve.
Already competed last weekend in the teams competition. Romania, one of the smaller nations, still had men and women's bobsleigh and men and women's skeleton in the teams competition.
As they all do, they're always there, full fields. Do so much with so little.
Yep. And they are, I've spoken to both their skeleton athletes yesterday, so excited about this World Championships.
He's as rough a ride as we've seen.
Yeah, pinballing down the track. 29th at the start, 28th at the moment. Might have lost a little more speed there, yeah, back down behind Ed Smith. Needs to hit a few less things in his second trip.
Yeah, he's 29th best start, 29th best finish. Tied with Ed Smith to the 100th of a second.
Yes, it is. John Farrow just 800s in front of them, 1200s in front of them. Again, Brian Vogt, the coach, goes to Moscow after this to go get married. So I think his days on the road are done.
Here's the tap, sliding across the ice and then hitting a wall. You haven't seen many people do that. That's an exit of 8 into 9. That's a no-no.
30 athletes down already in our field of 34. We've got 2 dead heats. Next up from Barcelona, Spain, Ander Mirambel, the 31-year-old. Disappointed yesterday to watch Espanyol get knocked out of the Spanish Cup in the semi-finals. That's the team he trains with. And sporting an eye infection as well. He said, it's okay, I can see out of the left one. Just can't see out of the right one.
Says he's got to go back and refocus on his start, his technique, because he's a better athlete to continually to get these 28th best start. He's better than that. And he did better than that in the past couple of years.
Yeah, he's going to get a plate taken out of the collarbone that he broke in the lead up to Sochi last winter. So that's his first job when he gets home, is to go in for more surgery. 28th at the start, slipped behind Dorian Velicu of Romania now. And this year, he has just been a little at sea, has not found the speed he wanted anywhere. Tracks that normally wouldn't have been a problem to make the cut, he has failed to make the cut on.
Still understand. The guy, he's got a lot of experience, and has to be something going on, so maybe that operation on the shoulder will help him out, because he should have better starts than that. He's a better athlete than that.
He seems to be in one of those positions where he's picking up an infection or an injury almost every week, and when you have those seasons, all you can do is grind it out.
The form here is almost bow-legged the way he's on that sled. And, you know, you almost have your knees touching.
See how relaxed he is? You can see the body just like jello bouncing on the sled. You've got to be very relaxed on the sled and let it do the work. 3 to go. Another rookie, 24-year-old Rhys Thornbury from Bryce Norton in England, representing New Zealand. He's a weapons technician in the Royal Air Force. This is his first full season on ice.
First World Championship run.
Absolutely right. Coached by Ben Sanford. You saw the big, tall figure in the background. Former World Championship medalist.
And former tallest man in the field.
Former tallest man. Now he's still the tallest man, he just doesn't compete anymore.
Bryce has learned a lot this year.
Yeah.
He'll be the first one to tell you.
Nice looking lines down the middle of the track. Picked up a spot. You've got to be nice and quiet on the sled. He is.
Angled there on the exit of the Kreisel.
So the elbow's coming out a little to pull himself away from the wall. That means a fairly major steer going on.
Head looks like it's up a little bit, too, in the straightaways.
Yeah.
But that's what you do when you're a first-year slider on the World Cup Tour.
If he's been here more than twice before, I'd be amazed. He's really literally only done half a dozen races in the 2 previous seasons up until this year. So his ice experience this year has kind of quadrupled.
He's 40 hundredths out of the top 20.
29th spot ahead of Ed Smith, Doran Veliku, and Ander Mirambel.
It's about where he's been finishing.
Yeah. And he's got a 4-year program courtesy of the Royal Air Force, so he will be a World Cup regular on the run-up to Pyeongchang 2018.
Feet are dragging a little bit there on the exit of 10. 75-mile-an-hour speeds.
So, next up, a brand new slider, 21-year-old Brazilian Gustavo Henke. Former sporting background, never played sport. He has never raced in Europe before, never mind in the World Cup or at Winterberg. He has been down this track precisely 6 times before today.
It's a relative of one of the bobsledders, right?
Yeah, Emilio Strapazon of Brazil is married to his sister.
There it is. And the Brazil bobsled team won the America's Cup, the North America's Cup. Can't call it America's Cup anymore. So Brazil's building a bobsled program. It's great to see now that they've got somebody in skeleton. That's not how to do it there. Now he's going to have some challenges down here. 2 seconds back, or second half back, and way above, way up. Watch him on the exit here. He's going to have some action.
He reckons in his entire career he has come down ice tracks 100 times, and all of those in North America.
Oh! That's what the track used to do to everybody. Look at this.
Oh, wild and very uncomfortable.
Well, he definitely will make the highlight reel.
Well, he's
can't go fast,
trying
crash.
to let it fly.
Can't go fast, crash, and get in the highlight reel. Wow. Boy, that's some rough ride. Romanian coach who's helping him out. Sanaya on the chest. He doesn't make it up too far, but hey, let's just hope he walks out of here, because there were some rough hits there.
I think
he likes it though. He's, yesterday he was pretty comical. What's your sporting background? None. Who's your favorite athlete? I don't have one. Look at this. I mean,
big height in 9 and then
come
sent
back up.
right back up
Well,
again.
he's got the award for the highest part of 9, the best scorpion. And then here, somehow he decides, I'm going to steer down now, but hey, centrifugal force going to take you back up onto the outlet, and he's in no man's land. The curve, no, I've never seen anybody that high. He gets the award for the highest.
Hits the woodwork, hits the woodwork in 10. Well, that big steer in the first one, that was because he was terrified of hitting the woodwork. Self-fulfilling prophecy. 35-year-old Man Bobsleigh of Romania. He and his wife, Bulgaria. He and his wife, Tanya, run a hotel in La Plagne in France.
She'll race tomorrow.
She will indeed. And he's had a number of European Cup and Intercontinental Cup races, but the number is not quite in single digits. But again, they're trying to run a full-time winter sport business and slide for fun as well.
Rugby player.
Yeah.
Flank.
And again, the 2 Bulgarians full of enthusiasm for this sport. Not bad speed. He's going to be ahead of Henke of Brazil.
He asked him to describe skeleton in a few words, and he said, having fun with my wife.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting.
Camilla Breyer will slide for Bulgaria tomorrow. And on, what's the day after tomorrow? Saturday, I guess.
3 seconds down.
58.94.
He beat the Brazil team.
Yeah.
Caleb Smith, he's the FIBT development coach. He's in the green jacket. He goes on the Europa Cup and the Intercontinental Cups and coaches the developing nations. Caleb, former slider for the United States, coach of the Australians. Grew up in Lake Placid. I used to compete against his dad in some field sports.
So Marin Bangiev, not quite so high in the first pressure, doesn't drop so low, and as a result doesn't
Not like the
climb
Brazil line.
to the
Look at the
woodwork.
Brazil line up there.
Way up in the woodwork. And as a result, gets a much more comfortable exit. And you've got to believe that Marin probably, and certainly Gustavo Henke in their first run in the World Championships with all that noise and pressure, feeling very tight indeed. However, all 34 sleds are safely down the first time. Martis Dukurs of Latvia leads by 0.3 of a second. The gap first to third is over half a second. Alex Tretyakov in second, Thomas Dukurs in third, and 0.6 back, Axel Jung of Germany, the former junior world champion. So Martis Dukurs already 1 step ahead on the first of 4 runs here in Winterberg in Germany. Well, the top 20 will go in reverse order in the second heat, and then 21 down to 34 to round out the first of 2 days of action here in the Hochsauerland in men's skeleton. But Dukurs, unless something drastic happens in the second heat, should, could, probably will add to that advantage. Behind Barrett Martineau and Dave Swift, 20th place. In fact, we'll have 21 sliders going in reverse order, because 20th place tied are the two Austrians, Matthias Guggenberger and Raphael Meyer. So they will both go in the top 20. Meyer will go first, Guggy second. And then after Martin Dukurs has gone,
100th.
Yeah, Mattia Gaspari. And again, who knows? You know, he and Nick Timmings might easily push their way into the top 20 with a slightly better second slide.
Timmings did pretty good there.
Loads and loads of great battles shaping up here. And anybody outside the top 20, it is not yet done. The gaps are very slight around that top 20 margin. So that is the position after the first of our two heats. The second heat gets underway here at 11:40 Central European time. That is 10:40 Greenwich Mean Time. Join John Morgan and me, Martin Haven, for all the action live. Until then, auf Wiedersehen from Winterberg.